Hi everyone, I'm going to be discussing in regards to the videos, what it pictured it, and also correlating it to chapter 8 reading. Just a little disclaimer, I'm sick from business traveling, so I'm in bed, and my laptop camera is not working, so I'm holding my phone with me as I'm talking to you, so I apologize if it starts wobbling a little bit. Well, back to the subject. One of the things I noticed about the videos, I did imagine counseling to be like that. It was an environment where it was inviting. It looked like a living room session when you welcome someone home or you welcome them to your home, and there's usually the living room there where there's a stage. It's a stage kind of place where you sit and you talk, and usually that's where the living room happens. Of course, it happens in other areas of your home, but living room is set for that, where you have tea, where you have some people drink, but some sort of you share something, and then you have discussions and topics. So I was very well nicely set in all three sessions, and it was quite inviting for all of them. They all were opened and inviting for them to have an open dialogue with the counselor. One of the things that I've noticed in regards to the sessions, there are things that chapter 8 covered in regards to content transference, when possibly the counselor may be transferring some of their emotions, some of the things that they're feeling towards what the client is sharing. And I noticed that mainly for my perception in regards to the session about being homesick. The counselor was very forward in regards to how her feelings towards the patient, towards the client. It was very like, I felt like there was a lot of empathy, like kind of a little bit feeling sorry for the client. Something that I read on page 264, sometimes our reaction is feeling sorry for the client, and that's how I perceived it to be as her reactions, as she kept doing the same sound towards the client's each statement. And maybe she kind of probably related to her in a way in regards to the client situation, but sometimes she was a little bit leading the conversation or the feeling that the client had. Like the first time she says, oh, so you were feeling alone or and isolated, like you weren't connecting. Like she didn't say that, but then the counselor assumed it and said it instead of asking her, so how did you feel about it? So and I know that was also discussed in regards to whether a counselor should be direct or indirect and start asking questions. So I noticed that a lot about the homesick session. For in regards to the first session that I saw, where it was brainstorming, that one particularly had a little bit of both. There was some emotional there, a lot of nodding, a lot of like agreeing with the client. But are you agreeing with the client what they're saying, or are you agreeing that yes, I'm hearing you, yes, I understand? So as someone who's coming in there, I would have I'll feel comfortable, but at the same time I'll feel like maybe what I'm saying is right. But if it's a brainstorming session, I will want to have more expansion on questions. And this is why I particularly like the one about dancing and helping. This particular counselor did ask questions, and a lot of questions. And it wasn't so much like it was a back-to-back questions where it was more like an interrogation, but listened. And then one particular thing that the client wasn't too expanding on, that's where the counselor triggered a question. And then sometimes when the client doesn't expand on something particularly, it's because maybe they're still having unclarity in regards to it. And this counselor specifically caught that and asked those questions, which I caught on as a pattern in regards to that. So it wasn't superficial. It was very, and also he was the one that was dressed more casual, didn't have the jacket on, because the other two did. He was more set back down like I am right now. The other two were more leaning forward. So it was more of a relaxed environment than a more of a kind of like in your face, but at the same time I'm trying to give my attention to you. The other one was laid back, but he was still had a very good intense eye contact, and his hands were forward. His body was relaxed, but his hands were forward. It still showed that there was a connection between that. So like there's like the differences between them and similarities in a way that they were all listening and trying to give a way of giving the client acknowledgement that they were there to listen to them. One was doing a lot of nodding. The other one which was the brainstorming. The other one was making noises, which was the homesick. And then the last one for dancing or helping, he was got out the key words of the client's statement and asked it with question, which affirmed that he was listening, or he's actively listening, even though he may be laying back in a relaxed state. And it was quite a lot of great skills in all three, and could learn so much from them.